Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is Sunday, it's 12 o'clock. It's time for a Q&A. This is where I take all the questions that you've asked over the course of the week and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. I'm back in the UK, and as I said last week, anybody that saw me when I was over in America, hi, hope you had a good time at Magic Live, and yeah, brilliant stuff. Back in the UK, about to go to Ireland today. Literally been back for one day, now I'm off to Ireland. But yep, there you go. Anybody who's over at the coming to watch Killian and Ryland's show in Ireland, come and say hi. Also, don't forget that I film these typically on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So if you want to guarantee to get your questions answered, please get the questions in by sort of Monday at the latest. This week's a bit of an anomaly because I'm filming it on the Friday morning because I've been out the country up until now. And I'm leaving the country again, so that's fun. Outside of that, yeah, you know, you're getting my raw and filtered opinion. I don't read these ahead of time. If I think that a question is kind of the sort of thing that would work better as a longer video, I will do that at some point in the future. With that all being said, there are a ton of questions, which is great. So without further ado, let's get into this week's Q&A. Okay, so the first question is from Jean-Luc, who says, let's have a look. I have sought pro advice from a pro here in Quebec. I do my first official all-English open mic with this 6 minutes tomorrow. Jean-Luc asked about open mics on the last show. I do this in front of judges on the 20th of August at a talent show. The big prize is my first 1 hour show being produced by a team of pros. Brilliant. I do 6 minutes there, all jokes around magic and mentalism. I think people have to laugh hard, and then if they want more, I'll surprise them with more quality magic stuff. If you want to see me go, I can send you the link to you later. I'll probably put this on the internet. Yes, I'd love to see it. I think that at Le Gong show, I'll do amazing. I'll post you the link because it's filmed there. In 5 months, I'll be going public on YouTube. You'll not understand, but you'll see my objects at least. Ha ha ha. And my fucking huge energy. Not a question really, but Jean-Luc, that's amazing. Honestly, I love it when people get opportunities and they grab them with both hands. That's absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to give you the same piece of advice that I give Ryland before every single show he does. Before every single show, ever since he was knee-high to a grasshopper, just before he goes on stage, I always say to him the same thing: don't be shit. So there you go. There's my advice to you, Jean-Luc. Don't be shit. Okay, so the next question is Justin Hutchins, who says, hi, Craig. Do you know if there's any DVDs or downloads where I can learn a ring and coin spellbound routine? Thanks. Yeah, there's a couple of really good ones. If you buy the Collusion ring set from Mechanical Industries, which is an amazing ring set, by the way, it's the one I use, they have there included a really in-depth tutorial with a load of moves and sequences using rings and coins. And some of those are absolutely amazing. A lot of people don't talk about that ring set with Mechanical Industries, but it is brilliant, and the tutorial is just pure gold. Also, Danny Goldsmith has some really nice sequences. In fact, my friend Nemid Phoenix is kind of an expert when it comes to ring and spellbound routines, ring and coin spellbound routines. In fact, if you're connected to Nemid on Facebook, and if not, you should be, you might want to speak to him because there's not many people that know as much about that sort of thing as him. And he's told me that Danny Goldsmith is one of the best when it comes to ring and coin sequences. So you might want to check out Danny as well and connect with Nemid. And then finally, next month in September, I've got my pet ring and coin routine going on the Netrix. So on the Netrix next month, I'm putting my ring and coin routine, which I've never published before, and I'm also putting my version of Vernon's ring on the Netrix as well, which is a really cool routine. So both of those going on the Netrix in September when things have gone back to normal for me. So yeah, there you go. That should cover everything, I think. That covers everything. But yeah, that Danny Goldsmith and Mechanical Industries are the two that spring instantly to mind. Oh, how can I forget? And Garrett Thomas. Garrett Thomas put out a brilliant He put out a brilliant product. See if I can find it. What was it now? Opus, is it? I think it's Opus. Opus. I think it's Opus, possibly. I'm trying to find it right now. He put it out through Cosmo. I'm sure it was called Opus. Yeah, it's in stock at Vanishing Ink. It's called Opus, and it's his handling of, all of the rings are in stock except for the 21mm ring. So they've got 20 to 25mm. This is a good price, actually. It's $100. It comes with a custom-made coin and a custom-made ring, and it goes through all of Garrett's material with ring and coin manipulation, and he's got some fantastic sequences in there as well. So that's called Opus. So Opus by Garrett Thomas, the Collusion ring set by Mechanical Industries, and Danny Goldsmith. Those are the three that you want to look into. Okay, so the next question is from Hankster27, who says, "Hey Craig, just wanted to say thank you for the best 16th birthday I could imagine. It was a pleasure meeting you at the P3 Magic Shop." Dude, it was fantastic meeting you. It really was. My only regret is I couldn't spend longer with you. For those of you that don't know, Hankster27 came over to Columbus while I was in there, and I got to hang out with him in the shop for his 16th birthday and show him some magic, which was super cool. And unfortunately, Eric Tate kept dragging me back into the theatre. He's like he was cracking the whip. If it was up to me, I probably would have spent a couple of hours there, but I did have a lot to do, and Eric was responsible for making sure I did it all. So I'm sorry I couldn't spend longer with you. Perhaps next time, but happy birthday, and it was great meeting you, dude. Okay, so the next question is from somebody with no name. It's literally got no name, just a picture. So that's weird, but okay, no name. And it says, "Hey, you know a lot about illusions. Is there an illusion where I can make 4 people appear at once?" Yes. There's a couple of different options. I've got something called a VIP illusion, which was by Garrett Thomas. Now, Garrett Thomas, what am I talking about? Garrett Thomas wouldn't make an illusion. It's by Guy Barrett. Now, Guy Barrett is, an amazing illusion builder over here in the UK. And Guy created an illusion to originally make Torval and Dean appear. So he originally built it to make Torval and Dean appear as part of an episode of Dancing on Ice. And off the back of that, he built me one. And I don't think there's many that he's ever built, but he built me one. And I originally built it to make a bride and groom appear on stage, because I do a lot of sort of bridal productions, bride and groom productions, and it's a very practical illusion. And it comfortably will fit a bride and a groom with a bride and a bridal gown. Since then, I've used it to produce CEOs from companies, 2 or 3 members of the board of directors. I've used it to make Santa Claus appear along with a couple of elves, and the most people I've had in it are 6 people. Now that was in a show where there were dancers, and there were very thin dancers, and they wanted me to make these 6 dancers appear at the end of the illusion act. They wanted me to make 6 dancers appear to transition into the next thing, which I did, and they just about fit, but it was like sardines in a sardine can. But 4 average sized people will fit in there comfortably. So you can speak to Guy Barrett about that. His, if you just Google Guy Barrett illusion design, his website will come up. And the VIP illusion is really great. Now, there is another illusion. It's called, is it called Populate? I'm sure it is. Populate illusion. I bought the plans for this. I bought the plans, and I was going to actually build it, but then I never got around to it, because I built some of my own illusions in the past. I can't remember who created it. There we go. Let me see if I can find it. No, I can't find it here. It's called Populate. I'm pretty sure it's called Populate. And it was a way, it was like a see-through box, a box with like no front, no back, no sides. And the cloth comes up, and when it comes down, you've got something like about 12, 13, 14 people in there. And I had a very specific reason I was going to build it, and I ended up not building it. It's probably overkill for 4 people because it's designed to make way more than 4 people appear. But that is, when I read your question, that's the thing that kind of sprung instantly to mind. So the VIP Illusion by Guy Barrett, or the Populate Illusion. You can't buy the illusion, I don't think, but you can definitely buy the plans. Those are the 2 that I would probably suggest. Okay, so the next question is from Pete Booth Magic. How you doing, Pete? I hope you're well. Who says, do you know if RSVP Magic Online is still being updated? I'm not too sure, actually. I haven't seen anything for a while, but I'll be honest, I haven't logged in for a while. I've been really kind of busy. I'm a member of quite a few subscriptions, about 7 or 8 of them, and I haven't logged into any of them for a few months. So I'm not too sure, but I do know Russ Stevens really well. So hold that thought. Let me check with Russ and I'll get back to you. Ask the question again down below, because I'll speak to him as soon as I film this Q&A. But by the time I film next Sundays, I'll probably forget to actually give you the answer. But if you ask the question again on this one, I'll have the answer and I'll be able to let you know. So I don't know is the answer, but I'll find out for you. Okay, so the next question is from David Blaine, who says, yo, was wondering if you were going to show performances on here using the mental photography deck. Eventually, yeah. Eventually, I'm in the. I think I've mentioned on this channel before, I'm doing a mental photography project at some point with Alakazam. But honestly, I think you're looking at about 2026, because it takes a couple of years for me to get the project to where I want it to be, if that makes sense. Like, I don't rush stuff out. It's not like I come up with an idea and next week I'm filming it. So this is the stuff that you see coming out now. So the stuff you see coming out this year, I've been working on it for a couple of years minimum. Like, I'm hoping at some point this year we're going to be bringing out the Svengali deck project. I've been working on that for about 3 years. I think it's been 3 years that I've been talking about doing the Svengali deck project. It typically takes about that long before things come out. So the mental photography project, I've been talking about it about 1.5 years. We're probably still about 1.5 years away from it being done. But I'll probably do some magic lives and some performances, and probably throw a couple of the routines up on the Netrix before it comes out, like I have in the past. But there's no immediate plans to put any lives up of the mental photography projects just yet, because I'm still in the middle of workshopping them and I don't want to put them up there until they're 100% ready. Okay, so the next question is from Callum, WW21V, who says, you're not American. No, never said I was. Are you referring to the title of the Q&A? Answering questions from across the pond. If you watch the Q&A, that was there because I was in America when I filmed it. So I was answering questions from America, but I don't think I've ever said I'm American. Hope that helps. Okay, the next question is from David Karadia, who says, hi Craig, I know you love using Lux by Lloyd Barnes, but I just wanted to ask if your Lux deteriorated over time, such as the longevity of the device, and do you remove the batteries when not in use, and how often do you charge the batteries for the device? It's not deteriorated at all. I don't take the batteries out. I've charged it a few times. I haven't for a long time. I went through a period of about 6 months where I didn't use it, maybe even a bit longer, maybe about 9 months, just because there was other stuff I'm working on. But I'm currently working on some UV projects, and so I've actually been using Lux again in the last 3 months. Originally, I needed a UV torch, and I was like, Lux, that's perfect, and I was using it just as a UV torch. But then I'm like, why am I carrying Lux around and just using it as a UV torch and not using it for Lux? So I've been doing some Lux-related stuff as well. But there was about a 9-month period where I was working on other material, so I hadn't been doing it. And when I picked it up and I started using it again, it was working fine. So I haven't heard that people are having issues with theirs over time deteriorating. Is that a thing that people are saying? Is that a thing that's happened? Because as far as I'm aware, mine hasn't happened. Ryland's got one as well, and he uses his a decent amount, and I don't think his has deteriorated, but I'm not 100% sure. I can go and ask him. But yeah, I mean, tell me, have you had an issue? Okay, so the next question is from Josh, who said, question for you, Craig. I recently came across a video of Rick Holcomb doing the cone and ball trick, and it was amazing. I instantly fell in love with the trick, but I'm not able to find a cone and a ball set that isn't super expensive. Any thoughts on where to buy a cheaper set, or even any ideas of where to go for the plans on how to make one myself? Thanks. I've got an interesting history with the cone and the ball. It's one of those tricks that I've been working on for years. Like, for years I've been working on it, and I've never actually performed it in the real world because I'm never 100% happy with my my handling of it. And it's something that is kind of my practice thing. I probably practice that more than anything else. And I've never actually, I'm just looking for this, I'm trying to find it. Of course I know what I'm looking for. There we go. But yeah, I've never actually performed it in the real world. And I want to, I desperately want to. But I've never got it to a point where I feel I'm 100% happy with it. The ball, I agree that there's a load of ones out there. Some are better than others. Some are worse. Yeah, that's just the way it is. The one that I would recommend is, let's have a look. The reason I would suggest this one is because it's quite inexpensive. There we go. Okay, so there is, if you know SEO Magic, the domain name is seomagic-usa.com. They have a really nice set. It's called Cone and Ball, brackets, all props, by Jackie Yu. You know Jackie Yu? Oh my! Jackie is one of the best kind of technicians when it comes to the ball and cone. Some of his handlings are just amazing. And his set, you get 2 white balls, 1 red ball, a cone, and his video showing a bunch of moves. And it says here, when I was 19 years old, I saw a video of Aldo Colombini performing a cone and ball. It was very attractive, had different feelings from cups and balls. I looked up related videos and found Vernon's ball, cone and handkerchief routine. Aldo showed it with a modern take. I wanted to make my own routine, and then I did, and that's where, and then you see his version. There's a video on there of him performing it. In my opinion, Jackie's is the best. And I've seen everybody's performance because I've been studying this thing for years. But it's only $65, which is a lot cheaper than a lot of the others out there. So for $65, you get Jackie's full routine, and then you get the leather cone, and you get the 2 white balls, and you get the red ball. So that's the cheapest I've found, and it's also probably one of the best sets, other than the really expensive ones that are like hundreds of dollars. So if you're serious about wanting to learn the cone and the ball, I would go to SEO Magic. They've got the exclusive on it, I believe, and go and get Jackie's. If you just search Jackie Yu, it'll come up. That's what I did in SEO. So there you go. I hope that helps, and good luck with it. I've been working with it for years, and I still can't get it perfect. Okay, so the next question is from Michael Warsham, who says, Craig, I don't like exposure videos either, but your preview in this Q&A of your upcoming rant on the topic of exposure indicates it may not be accurate, specifically saying that the magicians making exposure videos are talentless hacks without an ounce of creativity is certainly not accurate, because they were, at least at some point, even if their recent exposure videos represent that unfortunate state of being. So be sure to be measured and accurate in your criticism. Now, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And it's not going to be a rant video. I don't really do rant videos very often these days, if at all. But, you know, maybe talentless hacks with no creativity wasn't the right way of saying it. Maybe the best way of saying it is they sold out because money is more important to them than the art of magic. And rather than doing it the correct way, they've decided that exposing tricks in really short videos in order to line their pockets with gold is a better way to make money than actually going out there and trying to do it the hard way. Maybe saying that they take shortcuts is a better way of dealing with it. But, you know, there's a video coming soon, but I appreciate your thoughts on that. I really do, Michael. Thank you. Okay, so the next question is from Jagged Matt, who says, Hi, Craig. How are things? Very good. Hope you are well. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Magic TV for keeping me company. I've been quite unwell and unable to leave the house for 4 years now, and your channel has always been there for me. I have you on in the background whenever it gets too quiet. As I struggle to speak, I'm confident your loud voice in rant videos has scared off any burglars late at night and sent them scarpering. Dude, I'm very, very sorry that you're not well, and I'm really glad that the videos are comforting for you, and I'm really, you know, I hope you get better. I really do. My YouTube has played your quiver video a good 50 times now. Awesome. So I'm dreaming about going to my 2 favourite places next year, Subway and trading card shops. Well, that's 2 good places. I do also like trading card shops and Subway. Now, over the years, I've been great at drawing, and I've quite an impressive action figure origami collection. And I'd love to practice some tricks involving these interests. My problem is, Craig, all I can come up with are uninspired prediction effects, like going into Subway, introducing the server to a figure of Snoopy on his little typewriter and having him type how many tomatoes they'd put on my sub, or painting a cashier a postcard made out of the words they're about to say. Where should I turn to get me out of this mental rut? I'm thinking along the lines of how Eugene Berger did a card effect with a wind-up robot, or pulling a whole room's worth of miniature furniture, including a grandfather clock, out of a cardboard box. Your average run-of-the-mill stuff. Any ideas? What to watch, read? Thanks so much. You're the man and my friend. Dude, thank you again for the kind words, like seriously. Watch some of the creativity videos that I've put online, because what you want to do is, if you're pigeonholing yourself into one sort of area, which is predictions, what you want to do is you want to put a pin on that. So you want to say to yourself, right, okay, I want to try and come up with a trick involving drawing, including action figures, including origami, and it can't have anything to do with mentalism or predictions. So nothing to do with mentalism, nothing to do with predictions. So I put down loads of other things that it could have something to do with, you know, coins across, levitation, transmogrification, instant combustion, you know, stuff like that. Just put some random stuff down there, and then just pull one out at random and say, right, okay, torn and restored. So I need to work out how I'm going to do a torn and restored using origami and using an action figure and using drawing. And you've got to use at least 2 of those 3 things, and then figure out how you're going to put all of that together. And then if you can't figure out, and spend a couple of days thinking about it, and understand that there's no such thing as stupid ideas. Part of the problem that people have when it comes to creativity is they just go, well, that's stupid, and they don't do it, and they immediately bin it. But if they actually said, you know, well, you know, there's no such thing as a stupid idea, let's write it down. I want to make an origami. I want to make a piece of origami float in the air and burst into flames and turn into an action figure or something like that, whatever. Write it down. Write it down, because there's no such thing as a stupid idea. And a lot of people will go, well, that's not possible, so I'm not going to write it down. There's no method for that. Forget about method. This is not the time to think about method. This is the time for inspiration. This is the time to let your creativity just go nuts. Come up with as many different crazy ideas as you can. Now, in the next step, when you actually then start to try and think of method, that's when some of these might be whittled down. But if you don't write anything down, unless you've got an idea in your head as to how the method would be, then you're just going to limit yourself. And I always use the quantum deck as an example, because if you actually think about it on the surface, a blank deck of cards that are completely blank on both sides with no specially printed cards at all, and there's one card in the deck and they freely choose a number and that card is at that number, that sounds impossible, right? With no no changing around of the order of the deck or anything like that. That sounds impossible. And when I came up with a method for it, it would be impossible, but the method presented itself once I'd come up with the idea. So don't limit yourself by thinking of method. The first thing that you do is you just come up with as many, give yourself a couple of days to come up with as many crazy ideas as you can. And when you've got those crazy ideas, now you've got a list of stuff and you can start thinking of method for that. And you know what? 90% of that list might just be complete and totally impractical and you can't do it and it's impossible. But there's going to be that 10% that you would have dismissed that you can then start working on. And that's how you create a routine. That's how you create a trick. That's how you create an act. That's how you create a product. You don't limit yourself by dismissing ideas because you don't instantly have a method for it. Okay? So hopefully that helps. And just have fun with it as well. You know, don't get upset with yourself or don't get frustrated with yourself because you're coming up with uninspired prediction effects. You know, what you've just said there, a little figure of Snoopy on his typewriter having to type how many tomatoes they put on the sub, or painting a cashier a postcard out of the words they're about to say. Both of those are really cool ideas. You may be looking at them as uninspired prediction effects, but here's the thing. You know, your trick that you're looking at that's uninspired, that might be to somebody else the exact trick that they're looking for. It's like one man's treasure is another man's trash. And you might be looking at that as going, but somebody else would be over the moon if they came up with something, whatever it is that you're coming up with. So, you know, don't be hard on yourself is the other thing that I would say. So come up with as many crazy ideas as you can. Don't be hard on yourself, and then just work at it over time and have fun with it. That's the most important thing. Have fun with it. And good luck. If you need help with a specific thing, let me know and I'll see if I can come up with something for you. Magic by Vincent, and by the way, I hope you're well, my friend, says, for clear box like Mystery Solved, where the card inside turns out to be the signed card that can be put in the spectator's hand before the reveal, look at John Allen's Paragon 3D. Yeah, Paragon 3D is amazing. John Allen's awesome. Good call there, Vincent. You are 100% correct. Okay, so the next question is from Ned Nordin, who says, hi, Craig. As a long-time fan, I just wanted to personally thank you for your hard work. I know that it can seem thankless at times, but it's appreciated more than you could ever know. Keep on keeping on, brother. Thank you very much. That means a lot, especially after the last few days have been a bit tough. Regardless of what the vocal minority says, the silent majority loves you. Appreciate that, buddy. I have a question. After viewing some of your recent videos on the coin bag, I was compelled to purchase your older DVD combo project on the subject, Attack of the Bag and Return of the Bag. There's a lot of really good, useful material on those DVDs. I also thought the skits at the beginning of the DVDs were hilarious. Can you run through a list of your other DVDs and their basic content, what you put out back in the day, and which ones contain more of those humorous sketches? Sincerely, Ned Nordin. So there's an interesting... Well, first of all, Ned, thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. I really do. And I love the Attack of the Bag and the Return of the Bag DVDs. And in actual fact, the Attack of the Bag and the Return of the Bag DVDs, I'm redoing them. Updated handlings, brand new routines. It's going to be an incredibly long tutorial. And I'm rebringing out the bag routines with new updated bags. And that's going to be coming out fairly soon. So I'm excited about that. But... interesting story. So here's the thing. My first 5 DVDs were all shot together. And for those of you that don't know, before I left the magic community, I did a lot of work with World Magic Shop. And I started working with World Magic Shop before David Penn actually got involved with World Magic Shop. A lot of people don't know, but initially World Magic Shop was owned by a guy called Jim Traynor and Costas Damiano. And I got involved with World Magic Shop by befriending Jim Traynor. And Jim and Costas wanted to produce my first DVDs because I was constantly in the shop and showing them ideas, and they wanted to produce my first DVDs. So I said yes, and they'd never really produced DVDs before, so they hired this guy, and I can't remember his name, but they hired this guy who never shot magic before, but was a sort of a fan of magic, not really a magician as such, but a fan of magic, and they made the decision to film 5 DVDs at the same time. And this guy was kind of approaching it. He'd done a lot of stuff on TV work, and he was approaching this as they do these 5 DVDs, and we bring them out over the course of a year and a half. And there's a story that's told in each one of them, and the story continues in each DVD and finishes at the end of the last DVD. And they hired a stately mansion, a really big stately mansion, to film all these DVDs in. And the problem with them is, and if you've seen the DVDs, you'll know, this guy spent more time on the little stories and the skits at the beginning of the DVDs than he did in actually filming the magic. So all the performances were filmed in like one day to a bunch of really tired people who didn't even want to be there. So all the performances were filmed in one day in various different rooms in this stately manner. Various different rooms I had to go into and film this stuff. It was just random as hell. And then the performances were shot with one camera from a distance, so you couldn't even really see what was going on. And the explanations were shot in this dining room. And we were there, and we only had this manor, and he had to get 5 DVDs worth of stuff shot in like 3 days. And so we're filming through the night, and we didn't have spectators. So I got like my ex-business partner at the time, a guy called Ethan. I got him and his family coming along here to film this, because there were rooms for absolutely everybody. And I'll never forget, I was filming an explanation, and it was like midnight, and I was filming an explanation. We just literally hadn't stopped. And he's like, right, we're going to do the performances now. I was like, dude, it's like 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, we're going to do the performances. And so he said, go upstairs and wake Ethan and his family. So I went up to this room and I woke this guy up, and he was like, tell him to fuck off. He was, and I had my mic on and he heard everything. But yeah, we spent ages filming these skits. We probably spent a day and a half filming everything else. And then he had us filming all of these skits. And the whole idea is, it was meant to be, the first DVD I think was flipped out. So the 5 DVDs, there was Flipped Out, I think was the first one. Or it could have been Attack of the Bag was the first one. And then the second one was Flipped Out. I'm pretty sure the third one was Return of the Bag. The fourth one, which you can't get anymore, was called Coinsposed. I think it was Coinsposed. And the last one was Pure. There were 5 of them all together. And all 5 of them, if you watch the little bits at the beginning, it told a story. And there were loads of special effects in the story and stuff like that. And it was ridiculous. And it was terrible. And it was so cringy to make. It had me rolling around in a field in my suit, which wrecked my suit. We were like running around in a local village. Like, it was just ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. We were doing this thing where I was having to make eggs or something in one of the skits. It was just stupid. It was stupid. The whole thing was just crazy. But you know, it was my first DVDs, and I was just glad to see them come out. And they were well received, but they could have been shot so much better, which was one of the reasons why I want to bring out the bag stuff, because I don't think it was shot very well at all. And then, you know, to finish the story, Costas Damiano left World Magic Shop. David Penn got involved. A lot of the stuff that I bought out after that was with David Penn and Jim Traynor. The Locked in a Room Without Coins, Quarantine, Pentacle 2000. I had so many DVDs out back in the day. Pentacle 2000, Pool Ball Miracles, the original Chop, the original Keymaster Reloaded. As I said, so many, Slim, Parlor. I can't even remember all of them, to be honest. Love Cards. There were so many of them, and a lot of those were under the David Penn regime, when it was David Penn and Jim Traynor. Although the last couple was when Jim was no longer with the business, and Jonathan Farr got involved. Long story with World Magic Shop. We don't need to go into that now. But the point is, yes, those DVDs were great, and there was some amazing material on them, but you can't really get them anymore, and they're really quite terribly shot. And I've got a bunch of new material since then, which is why I'm filming them again now. Okay, so the next question is from Phil Forston, who says, Craig, you have fantastic stamina. I don't know how you fit everything in. I'm not too sure how I do either. Hope you keep on posting. Love your work. A question: have you ever considered doing a 5x5 on the Gilbreath Principle? I've used the mathematical principles with numbers, domino cards, card decks, etc. It's a very old principle, seldom used. Thanks and safe journey back to the UK. Keep the magic alive. Regards, Phil. Yeah, I love the Gilbreath Principle, and it's something that I've not considered, but I absolutely 100% would do a 5x5 on the Gilbreath Principle. So leave it with me, and I'll make sure I put something together. Okay, so the next question is from Robin Fisher, who says, hello, Craig. I have a question about buying magic tricks. I know that out there's a lot of great magic tricks and gimmicks that were created over the last couple of years, but how can I find just good stuff that will live in my TCC case forever, and not just until it gets replaced with the new awesome Craig Petty product? Should I wait and make lists for different sections like coins, cards, mentalism, and so on? Or should I wait and watch videos of what's the best tricks of 2020, 2021, or what's in my close-up case? Any help would be very helpful to me. Love the daily videos. Keep going, you're the best. And what's the name of the trick with the copper silver poker chips that were in your first close-up case video? Copper silver poker chips. Are you talking about the red and green, the purple and green? I'll have to go back and look at that video and let you know. In terms of, so the main question is, how can you find tricks that are just good? Right. Well, there's a few things to say about this. First of all, it's impossible to only buy amazing tricks. It's just impossible. I say it's impossible. You can maybe do it, but it's very, very unlikely. The whole point of being a magician is you're eventually going to be buying something that's not very good, or something that doesn't suit you. And it might be for a few different reasons. It might be that the hype got you and it's actually not very good, but it's something that just gets you really kind of excited, like, oh my God, I need that in my life. And when you buy it, it's not practical. It might just be that it's a good trick, but it's just not for you. I've bought tricks in the past that everyone's raving about, and I've just not been that impressed with them. That just can happen from time to time. You know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. That can be the case. And it's the same everywhere. It's not just magic, it's the same everywhere. Can you honestly tell me you've never seen a bad film? Because I have. I remember walking out of the cinema. What was that horrible, terrible, terrible film? I can't remember what it was. It's the only film I've ever walked out of on the cinema. Is it the Blair Witch Project or something? The one that was shot with a camcorder for like 50p and a packet of crisps around the woods somewhere, and it ended up making £1 bazillion. I can't remember. Blair Witch Project, maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. But it was terrible. It was truly, truly abysmal, and I walked out. And other people were saying that's the best film ever. And I just couldn't see it. It's the same with Inception. I've never really gotten with Inception. I understand that everybody loves it. My wife loves it. And every single time I've tried to watch it, within half an hour, I'm fast asleep. But I know that other people love it. It's impossible to go through your entire life, if you like films, and not see a bad film. It's just the way of the world. Well, it's the same with magic. Eventually, you're going to buy a bad magic trick. There's nothing you can do about that. The ways to limit buying bad magic tricks are to make sure you check all the reviews out, not just my reviews, but everybody else's reviews as well. Go and check out all the reviewers. Go check out Magic Orthodoxy. David's great. He's more of an unboxer, which he will openly tell people, but you'll get an idea of exactly what's in the box. Go check out Blake, Blakey Long, who's an amazing young magician and has got a very interesting take on a lot of the stuff that he reviews. Go check out the Wizard Product Review. You know, Paul Longhurst, Wayne Fox, and David Penn really know their stuff. So go check out the Wizard Product Review. Steve Faulkner from Real Magic Reviews is someone you should check out. Michael O'Brien from O'Brien Magic, you should check him out. He doesn't post as often these days, but Tyler Lunsford, when he posts, he's a great reviewer as well. Go check out that. I'm not his biggest fan by any stretch of the imagination, but he can be a very good reviewer and is very knowledgeable, which is Unbiased Magic Reviews. You know, he knows his stuff. and he's very, very, very knowledgeable. So, you know, he's definitely somebody you should check out, especially when it comes to mentalism. Another person that I'm really, really not a big fan of, but again, his reviews generally are very, very good, is Everything Pro Magic. He tends to give good reviews, and again, he doesn't just review the latest stuff, which is good. Go check out all of those reviews. Go check out all the reviewers. The next thing that you can do is, and this is a little tip that I've given people many times in the past, don't just go for the latest stuff, because that's the thing that's going to disappoint you because of the hype train, right? Here's what I like to do. Go onto the Magic Cafe and go back to page, like, go on the latest and greatest and go back to page like 260. Go back to 2020, 2019, 2018, and go look for any threads that are like more than 15 pages long. Because they're the ones that was a lot of hype about that trick when it first came out. And you're going to find one of two things. You're either going to find that when you start looking through, everyone says it's terrible, because there's always hype to begin with. Oh my God, have you seen this latest trick? This trick's going to be amazing, blah, 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 blah. And then when it comes out, you get the truth. And a lot of people, and on the Magic Cafe, especially on the latest and greatest forum, it borders on exposure. So you'll get a good idea of exactly what the trick is and how it works. But one of two things happens. You either get people going, that's amazing, that's the best trick ever, I'm going to, you know, oh my God, and people will rave about it. Or they'll say how terrible it is. The ones that people rave about, because you're looking at tricks from like 7 or 8 years ago, they're probably not ones that people are even talking about now. So you can then go and find someone that's got that trick, and you've got something that hyped everyone up a few years ago, but now everyone's forgotten about it, and it'll give you something brand new that everybody thinks is really, really good. So go look at the Magic Cafe from a few years ago and check out some of those threads. Go look at my videos, best of from 2020, 2021, 2022. For the same reason, you'll find older tricks that I think are absolutely awesome. And that's worth looking at as well. All of this stuff will help. And then go on Facebook and go in the various Facebook groups and ask people for recommendations. Say, hey, I'm looking for a new trick. What would you recommend? And see what people say. Look for personal recommendation. You know, people will generally be truthful on Facebook. I know it's a shocker, but go and look at all that as well. That's the way that I would go for it. That's what I would say. But expect to buy something sooner or later that you're not going to like, because it's just natural. You know, you say, oh, my new awesome Craig Petty trick. You know, I'm going to bring something out. I like to bring out a very eclectic range of magic. So, you know, and you guys know that. I'll bring out, you know, a coin routine or a coin set. Then I'll bring out a mentalism trick. Then I'll bring out a card thing. Then I'll bring out something that's nothing to do with any of those. And I'll bring out, you know, some, I don't limit myself. And because of that, I might bring out something at some point that you don't like, which is fine, because you can't like everything. That's the thing. But just be prepared for that, and you can limit it by not listening to the hype. Okay, so the next question is from Stephen Blair. Hey, mate, hope you're well. Everyone follow Stephen Blair. He's amazing. Hi, Craig. Hope you're well. Love what you're doing and help so many magicians, even a seasoned pro like myself. Anyway, like yourself, I run an entertainment agency similar to Slightly Unusual. Have you thought about doing a video on the operational side of how the business is ran, how the performer for the gig, how you select a performer for the gig, how you communicate with the client, and how you make sure your performers are treated well, money-wise and professionally? I'd love to hear about it and compare notes. I would do a video like that, but honestly, I don't think enough people will be interested in it. I mean, it's a very limited range of people that might be interested in a video like that. I'd be more than happy to make one. You know, obviously I've got a lot of experience talking about this sort of thing. You tell me, anybody that's watching this, would you like a video on how my business is run operationally and how it all works and everything behind the scenes? Because I'm more than happy to do that. I just don't think anybody would find that interesting. But if you guys do, I'd be more than happy to put that video together. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, another question from Dylan1213, who says, hi, Craig. I have a few questions. After 11 years of performing magic, I'm finally starting to get into coin magic more seriously. And I was very curious, what do you think is the best, or what do you think your favourite coins across to perform is, and where can I learn it? Also, I've seen David Roth do a Coins Across, and the title of the download was Expanded Shells by the World's Greatest Magic. Is that something worth looking into? And where would be the best place to find an expanded shell, if so? And lastly, you have helped inspire me to get more creative, and I've created a few new tricks. Is there any way I can show you them and get feedback? Thanks for all you do. Right. Right, okay, so the David Roth Coins Across that you're talking about, his shell Coins Across, was one of the first tricks that was taught in Expert Coin Magic, which was by Kaufman and Greenberg. You can get that from Richard Kaufman, and it's probably the most well-known routine with an expanded shell. It's amazing. It's really good. It's brilliant. And you should definitely study David Roth's work. Also, if David, that trick is taught in a few different places, including Expanded Shells by World's Greatest Magic, which is, I think, the L&L DVD, where they kind of put all of the stuff together into one thing. That's a great DVD, and you'll learn that on there. I have a trick called the Monster Coin Routine, which is taught on the Netrix, and also taught in one of my Alakazam Coin Magic Academies. That's my kind of variation of Roth's routine. It's kind of like a 5-phase routine, and one of the phases is similar to that expanded shell routine, but then I use the shell in a different way as well. I do have a shell coin project coming out at some point in the next year or two. I don't know when, but at some point I will have a shell project coming out. But yeah, that's where I would look. The Netrix has a lot of stuff with shells on it, but it's not the only place, obviously. I always say to people that if you want a really good collection of magic with shells and everything else, look into the New York Coin Guys set of DVDs, which Mia Yidid has the rights to at My Magic, and that was a collection of multiple DVDs created by David Roth, Michael Rubenstein, Jeff Latter, and Lou Gallo, and it's an amazing collection of magic, and there's a bunch of stuff with shells in there as well. If you want a really good book on magic with shells, I would have a look at Michael Rubenstein's coin book, and also there was an old DVD by Troy Hooser called Shell Raiser, which was really good as well, so it's worth looking at that. In terms of shells that are really good, the best are by Jamie Schoolcraft. You can't really beat Jamie Schoolcraft. However, JB Magic makes good shells. Ronald Davis in the UK, if you can get hold of him, he makes really good shells as well. Tango's okay. Tango's not so bad. But those are the best ones that I would go for. And also, Penguin are going to start selling their own expanded shells. They're really good. And I believe Alakazam. But I mean, you talk about Alakazam, my coin sets, both the Nightshade coin set and the Mirage coin set comes with a shell made by Roy Coopers. Roy is another great place to go to for shells, by the way. Roy's coins are great. But my Nightshade coin set and my Mirage coin set both contain shells, and the material utilizes the shells, but the shells are utilized in conjunction with the other gaffs. It's not like there's many routines that's just using the shell. But if you want a good shell and you pick up the Mirage coin set, you're going to get a shell with that as well, if that makes sense. And then you can go on the Netrix and you can learn a bunch of stuff with shells. So lots of different options there. But yeah, I mean, hopefully that helps. I hope I haven't overwhelmed you. In terms of creating new tricks and you want to show them me, absolutely fine. The best thing to do is to connect with me on Facebook or email them to craig@magictv.org and also CC in info@magictv.org, because then if I miss the email, like if I'm away on the road for days, I might miss it. By CCing in info at, my team will actually let me know. And send some YouTube links in there. Put them up on YouTube as an unlisted video. Send me the links and I can email you back. Okay, so the next question is by Frankini the Great, who says, here's my question for next week. Magic burnout. We all feel burnout from time to time. What's your best advice to keep that fire burning? Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this before. I've got a video coming up on this very soon as well. But what would I say? So there's a few things that I would say. First of all, have fun with it. Sometimes we forget this. Sometimes we forget that magic is meant to be fun, right? And we forget that. But magic is meant to be fun, right? So you should have fun with it, ideally. Second of all, don't force yourself to practice. So, for example, Ryland loves magic more than almost anybody I know. And after he finished the tour, I was in America, and I said to him, dude, just don't practice any magic. You've just been on tour. You've literally been performing non-stop every night and then rehearsing every day for like 3 weeks. Take a week off. I'm not around. I'm in America. Be a kid. Stop practicing. Stop learning. Stop doing anything. Just be a kid. Go play basketball. Go play football. Go play on the VR. Go play on the Nintendo. Go beat up your sister. Go and do stuff that you enjoy doing. But just take a break from magic for a week. Just stop. And when I came back, he'd still been practicing his card manipulation because he can't help himself, but he'd taken a break. And you know what? When I came back, he was like, oh, God, and he was jumping into wanting to learn stuff. And I genuinely don't think he would have been that revitalized if he hadn't had a week off. You know, sometimes you need to just step away. And that's not a bad thing, you know. Sometimes just, you know, don't force yourself to practice. A lot of the time we get magic burnout because we beat ourselves up because we feel like we should be practicing, but we don't want to. You should only be practicing because you want to. If you don't feel like practicing, don't. If you want to watch a film, do. Like last night, or the night before last, I can't remember when. The kids had gone to, I just got back from America. I wasn't feeling very well. The kids had gone to bed. Sarah had gone to bed, and I was just downstairs, and there was a deck of cards, and I knew I had to put something together. There's a thing I'm working on, and I've got a limited period of time to do it. So I looked over it, and I just put on a film. I was just like, nope, not feeling it tonight, not going to do it. And I just put on a film, and I watched a film. So, you know, don't force yourself into practicing. You know, that's an important part. Also, go out and actually perform for real people. You know, I mean, and even if you don't, you know, there's people that go, I don't really perform for people. Go and perform for somebody. Go and pick a really self-working, easy trick, one that just cannot go wrong, one where you don't even have to touch the cards. Go and do a really easy trick, and just go and do that trick, right? Just go and perform for people. Magic's all about performing, right? That's what it's about. Magic's all about performing. And so go and perform. Go and be that person. Go and be that person that's going and performing. You'll get, and even if you think, oh, I'm not really a performer, you'll get a buzz out of it. I guarantee you, when you get the reaction, oh my God, how did you do that? It's almost like a drug. You want to do it again. You want to do it again. You want to do it again. You know, a lot of the time people burn out because they're practicing all day, every day, and they're never actually showing people what they practice. It's like a cosplayer who just makes all these wonderful costumes, but then never shows them off to anybody. You'd get to a point eventually where you're like, what's the point? I'm spending hours making all of these wonderful costumes, but I'm not actually getting a chance to show people what I've done. And I've got a friend that did that was a cosplayer, had some amazing costumes, and then just gave it up because they never felt comfortable in their own skin going out to conventions or whatever, wearing them. And so they never did, and they ended up getting out of it. You know, magic is designed to be performed. So go out and perform it. And have fun. That's the other thing. Have fun. Enjoy the experience. Go out and have fun. Yeah, so have fun. Perform for everybody. Don't beat yourself up if you're not actually practicing. And also go back to the stuff that you loved about magic in the first place. So why did you love magic in the first place? What made you fall in love with magic? It was probably something. It was watching a magician or something. Think about when you first got into magic, because when we first get into magic, we have this kind of moment, don't we, where we kind of get into it and like everything's wonderful and everything's fantastic. It's a little bit like when Harry Potter first finds Diagon Alley, and you know Hagrid does the tap 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 on the wall and he sees Diagon Alley for the first time, and he's like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is what I was born to be a part of. We all get that feeling when we get into magic. Oh my God, this is amazing. What gave you that feeling in the first place? What did you watch? What did you do that gave you that feeling? And go back and do that. It might have been, you know, watching a particular performer. Go back and watch more performances. It could have been something that inspired you. Whatever it is, go and do it. But yeah, and you know, Never give up, I think, is the next thing. You know, talk to other people, connect with other people in the community. You know, there's some great magicians in this magic community. There's some arseholes, I won't lie, but there's some incredible magicians. Find some of them and connect with people. You know, some of the magicians that are the most happy are the ones that have got a base of magicians that they can chat to. You know, because it's a, you know, you don't want to have this lonely experience of sitting in your house on your own, practicing magic, not sharing it with anybody. You know, be social. Okay, so the next question is from Spooky Kid. Let's have a look at what Spooky Kid says. Does anyone make a marked Svengali deck? Not the force cards, but the non-force cards. It seems it would be very useful. If no, should there be one made? Can't wait for this project. I think that there was once upon a time a marked Svengali deck. I'm pretty sure there was. I'm pretty sure it was marked and it was in mnemonica. So I'm pretty sure the first 26 cards were the first 26 cards of mnemonica interlaced between the force cards. I'm pretty sure of it, and I'm pretty sure I reviewed it about 2 years ago, but I can't remember. There's definitely a Mark Svengali deck out there, and I remember thinking this is kind of pointless, but maybe I just didn't look at it with enough like creativity or something. But I'm pretty sure that there is something like that out there. I can't remember what it's called. But I'm pretty sure I reviewed it. Sorry to be so vague. But yeah, I think there is. Okay, so the next question is from Archie Cox Magic, who says, "Hi Craig, hope you're well. Number one, you mentioned one of your recent review shows, the Heroes and Villains deck. Well, no, I didn't. Ryland did. The little sausage. I don't like mentioning my stuff until it's about ready to come out. I remember that review show. He mentioned it. Is this an effect which is being released in the next few years? Yeah, it's a deck of cards which I'm very, very proud of, that I've been spending 2 years working on now. 2 years working on routines and effects with it. It's sick. It was developed by Phil Smith. So that'll give you an idea of everything that you need to know. It was developed by Phil Smith, and it was one of the projects that I filmed with Penguin when I went over there this last week. So one of the projects that I was filming while I was over there was the Heroes and Villains deck. Now, when it comes out, I don't know. I think it will be at some point in 2025. But my part is done. The deck is designed by Phil. The files have been handed over to Penguin. The tutorials have been done. The live performances have been done. My part in this is over. After 2 years, it has all been done. When it comes out is anyone's guess. But yeah, it's pretty special. It's pretty special. I can't wait for people to see this one. Okay, so the next question is from Archie Cox, who says, when performing close-up, should the routines be made full circle, or should they be non-linear in case I need to stop, e.g. in a restaurant? You can do both. So, for example, you could, for example, walk over to a table, put your destination box down and say, hey, I've got this box. I'm going to get back to that a little bit later on. And you could aim to have that finish your set. But if the food comes out, you can just go, hey, thanks very much for watching. Pity I didn't get to show you this. I'll try and come back a little bit later on. Now, that's not a problem if you've already shown them a bunch of magic, which is why I think that the most important thing when it comes to magic in a restaurant environment is that you should be quick and snappy. You don't want to be doing one trick that builds up to one magic moment over 5 or 6 minutes, because if you're 4 minutes in and their food has come down, you're still nowhere near the finale. You're just not. It's just been a waste of time, right? So stuff like ambitious cards, stuff like coins across, stuff like card under box, stuff like card to pocket, stuff like card, a multi kind of a multi-phase card to mouth, stuff like that. All of that is the way that you should go. In all honesty, I think that's the best material for you to go with, in my opinion. I really, really do. Because if you go over to a table and you do an ambitious card and the cards come to the top 5 times in various different ways, but you haven't done the finale of it going in the wallet or something, and then the food comes over, from your point of view, you haven't even done one full trick. From their point of view, they've seen 5 different tricks. The cards come to the top of the deck 5 times. They've seen magic. So I think the most important thing is that it needs to be quick, it needs to be hard hitting, so that if you stop in the middle of a routine, they've already seen a bunch of magic, if that makes sense. But in terms of bringing it full circle, yes, you can bring it full circle, but you're not always going to be able to get that finale because you might have to leave early. So whether you actually want to do that or not is really down to you. Okay, so the next question again is by Archie Cox, who says, is it okay to perform beginner magic tricks at gigs, i.e. jumping rubber bands, the Fantastic Five, the 6 and 9s, etc.? It's totally up to you. The problem with stuff like that is people might have seen it before. You know, you're being hired as a professional magician, and if it is really simple stuff like the 6s and 9s and the jumping rubber bands, if they've seen it before, they might think, well, hang on a minute, why am I hiring you? You know, I've seen it. I do this trick. Why am I hiring you to do this trick when I do this trick? When you're first starting, it's not a problem. But I think one of the most important thing from a marketing point of view is branding. And the most important thing from a branding point of view is to make sure that people realize that you're the best. And how do you make sure people realize you're the best? By doing the best magic. So I think we should always strive to make sure that we're doing the best that we can and try to be unique as possible. And one of the ways to be unique is not to do too many public domain tricks that the spectators might have seen before. So it's not a problem. At the end of the day, it's your act. You can do whatever you want to do. Nobody can tell you not to do something, but you need to be careful when it comes to clients' expectations versus reality. Okay, Adrian Suter says, how much has Matt's job description changed over the last year or two? His job description hasn't changed. He still works full-time as a salesperson in my company. It just so happens that in the last couple of years, he now has a separate role as an independent contractor for Slightly Unusual. So as well as being full-time as a salesperson and an employee within the company, he also has an extra role, and he's a contractor for Slightly Unusual and goes out and does gigs for us. So it's not like his role has changed. His full-time job has remained the same, although I do pull him out to do stuff in here from time to time. But it's been expanded upon, if that makes sense. So he's doing a lot more outside of what he used to do in sales. He's doing a lot more for a variety of different companies. He's now obviously getting involved in Magic TV, working on stands and booths and so on and so forth. So as his experience has grown, as he's got more involved with the Magic community, he's doing more away from his core job with Non-Stop Kids and Slightly Unusual, if that makes sense. Okay, so the next question is, again, from Agent Suter. You have Rhys from Morgan and West backstage. Yes, we have Rhys from Morgan and West backstage. It's insane that one of my favourite magicians in the world is just doing Tech and Light for my son's, act as part of Killian's tour. It's crazy. You always seem to end up working with the best, I know. Do you think you can persuade him to do some videos for the Netrix on the theatrical side of magic? I'll see what I can do. I'm seeing him this weekend, so let's see what I can do. I'll get him in a headlock and see what happens. Okay, so the next question is from Mike on a Box. Many reviewers just do nice reviews about certain projects, just because the name of who brings it out and because they are friends, but they can't be honest enough to give an objective review. Sadly, biased reviews are a thing, and not saying there is anything good or wrong with them. We just need to be aware that people that act like this. I don't know if you're talking about me. Please clarify in this video. Please clarify in this video. Because if you are talking about me, I would like to direct you to the video that I put up on Friday talking about this sort of stuff. Specifically about this sort of stuff. If you're not talking about me, then I apologise. But if you are talking about me, then go and watch the video that I put up on Friday, because that video was made for people with opinions like you about me. Okay? Okay. Next question is from Stephen Devereaux, who says, hi, Craig. Hope you're very well. I'm very well, Stephen. I hope you're well as well. Are Lloyd and you making up other tricks together? Thanks, Stephen Rue, South Africa. Yes, we are. Now, anything I bring out through Murphy's has Lloyd's fingers on it, because he's my handler. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? When you work with Murphy's Magic, each company that you work with, it's a different experience. When you work with Murphy's Magic, you have one person that's kind of the handler. And Lloyd is the handler at Murphy's Magic. I don't really speak to anyone else at Murphy's Magic other than Lloyd until the trick comes out. And then I'm with Bo and I'm with George and that sort of people. But for the most part, it's really just Lloyd that I interact with. So everything that I've produced through Murphy's Magic, Lloyd has been a part of in one way or another. But obviously the Infinity deck was me and Lloyd. Me and 100% me and Lloyd. There's two other things that me and Lloyd are doing together at the moment that we're working on. The first is the gaff deck. So we are creating our own gaff deck, which we have been talking about now for 3 years, and we are very close for it to being finished. In fact, we had a finished version of the gaff deck. It was done. It was finished. We were happy. We routined it all together. We got it all. And then we went to Lloyd sent it to USPCC to be printed, and there were 5 cards they refused to print for various different reasons. And so now I've got, we've been spending the last couple of weeks putting 5 new cards together to replace the 5 cards that they wouldn't print. So we're, I think, about a couple of weeks away from finishing that, and then that will be done. So we're very, very close to the gaff deck. That should come out early next year, I would imagine. The other thing that we're working on together is a project that combines me, Lloyd Barnes, Jake Keane, Pete Turner, and Phil Smith. I ain't saying any more. Okay, so we've got 2 questions from Divishan Magician. The first is, have you seen Richard Jones' Soldier of Illusion tour? No, I want to. I haven't seen it yet, but what I have seen, I've worked with Richard a couple of times. I compared an event a couple of years ago that Richard was a part of, and there were a couple of different acts, including Brendan Rodriguez and James Samuels, and it was James's event, actually. It was an amazing event. And Richard Jones was there, and I got to obviously see him perform because I compared him on and off, and he was brilliant. I'm a big fan of Richard. Richard is just one of my favourite people. When it comes to performance, Richard's just the magician's magician. He really is. So I haven't seen his Soldier of Illusion tour, but I do want to. But I've seen Richard Jones perform many times. And do I do the silk through phone with that little plastic gimmick? Yes, I do. Haven't done it for a while, but I did it in the past when it first came out. Did a couple of social media videos on it. Did it live at a few gigs. It worked really well in a kids show, actually. I would do it in a kids show with a borrowed phone from an older kid. So I'd borrow the phone from the older kid and I'd pull the silk through, and that worked really well. It's a great trick. It looks really visual. Okay, so Dan Gotham Magic, thank you for letting me know how to actually pronounce that, buddy. Says, thanks so much for the well wishes. My fiance is my biggest fan and cheerleader. We're having an intimate ceremony, so planned on doing it just for her as a gift. Love the idea of engraving the Omni deck. I'll definitely take that to an engraver. I consider you a mentor in my magic, so it means a lot to me. You are more than welcome, my friend. And again, congratulations on your upcoming wedding. It's awesome. Yeah, run. Okay, so that's it. I think that's it. That's another Q&A in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me here on Magic TV on a Sunday. Really appreciate it. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. If you haven't already done so, please join the Netrix. It's my online streaming platform for magicians. It's www.thenetrix.com. You can get access immediately and see what all the fuss is about. And also, don't forget, I'm going to be back later on today with a review show special. We are doing Liquify. Everybody's asked for it, so we're doing the Liquify review show special tonight at 9 o'clock. Make sure you check out that. Also, if you haven't already seen the Talk Magic interview that went up yesterday, go check that out. It is with Bond Lee. Everybody loves Bond Lee, and I've been trying to get this interview organised for a long time. So that's awesome as well. I will see you again soon. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great Sunday. Leave the videos down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all of that fun stuff, and I'll see you again. My name's Craig from Magic TV.